pure paradise. The beaches in this video are stunningly beautiful and very unique. Here are the 15 most unique beaches. Huge glacial lake in the Vaadhoo National Park, Iceland, and it's home to one of the most bizarre beaches you'll ever see. Due to the continuous melting of the nearby glaciers, it's constantly increasing in size and is now 4 times the size it was in the 1970s. With a constant supply of icebergs floating in the water, the geographical features that form here are breathtaking. Most spectacular is the Diamond Beach, which is made up of fine particles of black volcanic rock. Here, pieces of crystallized ice are washed ashore from the lake, and at certain times of day when the light is right, it feels like you've been transported to an entirely different world. Number 14. Vaadhoo Beach, Maldives. Also known as the Sea of Stars, Vaadhoo Beach is one of the most entrancing places on Earth thanks to the abundance of bioluminescent plankton that live in the coastal waters. The island itself is tiny, with only 500 permanent residents, but it's one of the most popular places in the Maldives because of this naturally occurring phenomenon. The glow of the plankton is actually a defensive measure and is triggered by nearby movement. This means that the crash of the waves or even the soft press of a footprint is enough to trigger it. And if you're there in the evening or at night, the effect is awe-inspiring. Similar things can be seen on a few other beaches in the world during certain seasons, but at Vaadhoo, it's visible all year round. Number 13. The Red Sand Beach, Galapagos. The Galapagos Islands are well known for their unique biodiversity, but it's not just the plants and the wildlife that are unusual. The geographical features are unlike anywhere else on Earth, too. On Rabida Island, thanks to its volcanic coastline, the beaches aren't covered in the white sand you might expect, but they are a deep, rich red color. The reason for this is of the high levels of iron that are present after countless eruptions over the millennia. It makes for a stunning view out across the surrounding waters, and if you ever make the trip there, you'll find yourself in good company, with large herds of sea lions and colonies of blue-footed boobies, brown pelicans, and finches that call this place home. Number 12. Pakolea Beach, Hawaii. When you think of an ideal beach, you'll probably picture either perfectly white or golden yellow sand. But what about green? There are 4 known naturally green beaches in the world, but the most impressive can be found on the Big Island in Hawaii. Pakolea Beach is in a bay that's formed by volcanic cone that was formed around 49,000 years ago. And rather than being the result of algae or dye, the sand is this unusual color because it has been formed by naturally green rocks. When volcanoes erupt, they release various minerals, one of the most common of which is olivine, which contains both iron and magnesium. It's one of the first to crystallize as magma cools. And this is what gives the green color, because the iron is present in ferrous form. Number 11. Glass Beach, California. You usually think of a beach as being made up of sand or stones, but there's one in California that's completely different, because it's actually completely covered in glass. Located close to Fort Bragg, this is the result of years and years of garbage disposal along the nearby coastline. The crashing waves pummeled the glass and pottery and turned them into small, smooth, rounded pieces that were then washed ashore. The beach is therefore completely safe to walk along and a vibrant blend of color. Jewelry makers often go there to find parts for their designs. And it's such a beautiful place that more than 1,000 people visit it per day during the summer months. The main glass beach, along with 2 others that are nearby, proves just how much of an impact human waste disposal can have on an ecosystem, but at the same time shows that it's not necessarily always such a bad thing. Number 10. Ziatni Rat Beach, Croatia. Also known as the Golden Cape, Ziatni Rat Beach is one of the best you can visit in the Mediterranean, and amazingly, each time you go, it'll always be slightly different. That's because the spit of land, which is about a mile to the west of the town of Bol, is subjected to strong ocean currents that are continually reshaping it. Most of the land is covered with white pebbles to form a 2,080-foot-long beach. But in the center, there's a pine grove that conceals the remains of a Roman villa and its still operating swimming pool. The far end of the beach, which points south, is where the most changes occur. It usually curls in an easterly direction, but during certain winds in the summer, it'll completely shift to the west. Surrounded by cool ocean waters, this beach is one of the most popular in Croatia and is the perfect place to relax when temperatures soar. Number 9. Cathedral Beach, Spain. It may seem like an unusual name to have, but once you see what Cathedral Beach looks like, it'll all soon become clear. It's on the northwestern coast of Spain, and in the local language is called the Praia de Agua Santa, which means Beach of the Holy Waters. The cliff face here has been subjected to the powerful forces of the Atlantic Ocean, which has carved the rock in a way that looks almost like a Gothic architecture. Some of the arches these processes have formed are more than 90 feet tall, and the coastal walls are littered with cracks that serve as the entrances to hidden caves behind. It's undoubtedly one of the most stunning beaches in the world, and in an added twist, during low tide you can walk through, but during high tide the area is completely underwater and provides an equally impressive Anse d'Argent, Seychelles. Often voted the most beautiful beach in the world and easily one of the most photographed, Anse d'Argent is truly an otherworldly paradise. It's on the island of Vaadhoo in the Seychelles and is surrounded by emerald-colored, clear, warm water and has fine, perfectly white sand. The thing that makes this place truly unique, though, is the presence of huge granite boulders along the shoreline. They've been smoothed by the action of the waves and the sand that's blown in the wind, and they look simply magical. Images don't do this place justice, as they look as if they've been painted, and it's only when you set foot on the beach that you see how real it is. Add to this the rich biodiversity in the water, with large numbers of fish and turtles that can be seen from the shoreline, and it's virtually guaranteed that you'll never want to leave. Number 7. Star Sand Beach, Japan. At first, when you walk across the sandy beaches of Takatomi Island in Japan, you might not think there's anything too different from other beaches you've visited. But if you take a closer look, you'll soon realize this beach is one of the most unusual in the world. That's because here, mixed in with the sand particles, are the husks of millions upon millions of tiny organisms called foraminifera, and the particular species that are native to the waters are star-shaped in appearance. If you pick up just a small handful of sand, you'll have hundreds of stars in your hand, which is why this place is commonly referred to as the Star Sand Beach. This isn't the only beach in the area where you can see this, although it's by far the largest. Next time someone asks you if there are more grains of sand on the beach or stars in the sky, then remember this beach in Japan, as it proves the answer isn't quite as simple as it first seems.